welcome. I'm Steve. Is Mark around? Say hi, Mark. He's outside. And this is Smokeysteveandmarc. Welcome or welcome back, and happy Sunday. Sunday. We are eating again. We are having ramen because stomach's still doing flips, and ramen seems to go down, so I have a little bit of ramen. The chicken kind. Drained. I don't do all the whole soupiness part of it. And I left it plain. I didn't go jailhouse style with like hot sauce and cheese and shit like that. And we have a Diet Pepsi to go with. And my vape. That's about it. So that's all the fun we're having today. So happy Mother's Day. It's not belated, it's still Mother's Day. So Brandy, hello. Andy, hello. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers, grandmothers. You were someone's mother. You became someone's mother. Stepmothers. Anybody who fills it. I guess even if you're a fur mamas, people who have pets, same. My parents were here, so we had a chance to check in. We had a gift for Mom and stuff, so that worked out. Christine, hello. Susie, hello. Chex. Hey, Chex. How are you? Annie, hello. How are you? It's a beautiful day to be Sunday. Chicken ramen has been my 3-year-old's new favorite food. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. She throws a fit over her favorite noodles. If she's like me, she recognizes the color. Orange is always chicken, usually. So, Pixie, hello. LA, hello. We are just taking in all that is Sunday. It's beautiful outside. It's been beautiful the last 2 days. Have a story about when it wasn't so beautiful out. But it's been beautiful weather just the last couple days. So it's been really, really nice. It's like 75-ish, maybe. So we're doing... Graduated from ramen to pulled pork. That's a step up, Christine. I would say so. Pulled pork on top of a bed of ramen. We might be making money here. So... yeah, well, I'll give you the gist of it. We had a leaky roof. Now, we're on the first floor of a 3-story building, so a leaky roof shouldn't really be the first floor's problem. You wouldn't think, but we had rain for days and days. There was flood watches and tornado warnings and all sorts of shit come through. So we had a leak come through. And it doesn't look bad now that it's stopped, but it was coming through kind of like the outside of the building into the ceiling in the bedroom. And we have like homemade, we don't have a ton, we have decent closet space, but we have these like built stacked things over by the wall where we keep a lot of like clothes and whatever like that, like a wardrobe, a cloth wardrobe that was assembled. And it was just about to drown that. But it was just a few inches away and it was fine. And I was draining it with a bucket. I had the garbage can. And I was draining it probably about every half hour for 5 hours. And then it slowed down. Then the rain stopped, and then a couple hours later, that stopped too. So, I have a kitty cat right here. I have a kitty cat who got the most views on a video we've had in a while. He had almost 1,500 views on his short about how he loves his naps and hates his gay dads. So, yeah, I was going to say they can fix the washer. I'll let it go. God. I mean, we have renter's insurance if anything was damaged, aside from some wet clothes. Seriously, not to be pushovers. Just aside from some wet clothes, we got off pretty easily. There's some water damage. On the wall, you can see where it's going to have to be probably fixed and repainted. It's plaster, which is good, because if it was not, my dad said it would probably start to mold, like, almost immediately. So we actually have plaster, so that'll hold. And we'll see. So they're coming in tomorrow, and Mark will be available to let them in, because I have work, and I'm always sketchy about people coming in, and then the cat's here, and is anyone going to mess with them? Are they going to run out accidentally? What if they forget where they live? So I'm always sketchy about that, but Mark will be home. So it won't be, I'll have peace of mind while I'm out that he'll be handling that kind of stuff with repairmen coming in and out. And it's worth mentioning while you have the landlord's ear, of course, the washer dryer. Because, I mean, frankly, we got a free wash when the roof caved in. Not caved in, but, when the roof leaked. Least they could do is fix the dryer so we could dry them. But I'll give them credit. They were on top of it pretty quick. I mean, as quick as you can be. I mean, it can't come they could come while it's pouring and go on the roof and fix it if we were somebody more important. But not for the amount of rent we pay in the city we live in is anybody coming over that fast on a weekend to do that kind of repair. In an emergency, for 3 times the cost. You can never get a guy with a license out to do that like that. So that was the only adventure of the weekend aside from the rain. The garden lived. Everything in the garden lived through the rain. Maybe something got washed out. I have one ampersand, whatever those things are, left. That self-seeded from the year before. Otherwise, everything else seems to have died. So I agree, Christine, but I don't own property. So did you add cream and butter to the ramen? I don't know if someone could be... I have the little bit of broth left in the bottom that I have just stirring up into it as I'm doing it to keep the noodles kind of loose. Memories for me as kids of these things being almost chewy. Because I was a fat kid. Well, I'm not fat at all, but I was a fat kid. And it was one of the first things I learned how to make as a kid. You could use the stove and I could make ramen. Or ramen, or whatever. So it brings back memories of that to me. Scattered pictures, yeah. I said at the beginning, I'm not doing jailhouse ramen. They used to make, and anything anything you could buy in a snack bar, they would essentially add to the ramen to make what they called in this jail a chi-chi, which is just loosely mashed up ramen soups mixed with liquid cheese, beef sticks, anything else you could find on like a snack bar menu. And then you add some hot water to it, wrap it up, let it sit, and it turns into like this bastardized sort of casserole thing, which when you've been eating nothing but jail food is a real treat. So this is not quite the same fare as that, I would have to say. You had a frost last night. Thankfully everything survived. Oh, good. Last night was cold. And we had a couple of beautiful days, but it was cold. Like I was sleeping in t-shirt, sweatshirt, scarf, hat, pants, 2 pairs of socks. So I don't know. I'm still in a treatment stage, the exploratory stage, finding out if I have any thyroid thing. I'm like, well, don't people with thyroid issues, some kind of thyroid issue, they're cold all the time. Mark is outside. This time of year, as long as there's daylight, he'll probably be outside. I see that he bought some soil while he was out. So he's going to be doing some work out back, which is just fine for him. I just wish, my God, if I could get the knee transplants for him, I would. It's just because now it seems like both, and it's hard to watch. It's a helpless feeling because I don't know what the hell I can do for him other than carry him, essentially. So what I do instead is carry everything that we can move. I try to do the most of the heavy work, but it's to the point now where stairs are a challenge. So he can putz up and down the hill in the backyard and crawl and do those things. We'll see what this summer's like compared to last, as far as, if he's out in the garden all weekend, is he going to be crippled till Tuesday? So we'll see. We are having ramen tonight, Patrick. Ramen. I was going to have pizza. The parents came down for a visit and they brought pizza. You're doing tomatoes in containers. Very nice. We are doing tomatoes. For 1,000 years in the back of my head, we were going to do like a Steve will try it. You know those tomatoes that grow, like they hang and they grow upside down, topsy-turvy, whatever they are? We have a similar product or that product to try out. It's going to be a longer process though, because I can't show you in the first 10 minutes unless I follow it over the course of months, creating the video and take you through 3 months of growth, in 10 minutes to kind of show you if the product worked or not. I don't know. Last crafty one I got involved in when we did the Mother's Day thing, which Mom loved. She said she liked, for Mother's Day. So she said she was interested in wearing it like a crown at the Renaissance Fair. And I looked at it and I thought, that makes a lot of sense. It's like May crowning. When we were little kids in Catholic school, we would do the May crowning every single day in May. We'd say the prayers to Mary and say the little song about Mary. And everyone had turns making a homemade crown of flowers to put on her head. The most fantastic was when someone came in and had a candlestick decoration shoved in on top of her head. It looked like Mother Mary meets Charo. It was ridiculous. Grilled scallops and cheesecake. Now I'm jealous. Scallops are good. I was a late convert to scallops. Not for the ew factor. We need a lot of fish where I grew up. We weren't Italian, we didn't have the 7 fishes at Christmas. We didn't have a whole lot of home cooked meals. We had a lot of semi homemade cooked stuff. There was no family recipes of really anything. So, grilled scallops. Oh, yeah, dinner's Tums. Hey, you live with it. You make decisions and you live with them, I guess. So that, yeah, so far as any other Mother's Day stuff, that was pretty much it. They came down. I had a gift for Mom. I had some food that we had made over the last couple days. We had a new recipe we tried over the weekend, which might be a video. It's like a chicken bacon ranch croissant crust pie thing. I don't know. Mark made it last night. It was pretty good. He's going to tweak the recipe, and then maybe we'll do it in a few weeks or so. So we had that. I made some Fat Boy cinnamon rolls, the ooey gooey ones with the extra butter and the extra brown sugar. Anything I could do to just get my appetite up. Because it's like, if I can't, I have to get something in my stomach to take the medications I do to keep myself off a clock tower with a rifle. So I need to have food in me when that's going on, and the fattier food, the better. But it's hard to keep. I mean, anyone who has any sort of health condition of any kind, I'm just whining. But it's at the point now where it sucks and it doesn't feel like it's getting better, so it's a little discouraging. It will get better, logically. I can't, but it will pass. It will pass. It's passing like a kidney stone, but it'll pass. Hey! Sorry, I heard the cats fighting. Bandit! I might have to go take care of something, if you'll excuse me. Kitties? Kitties? Who's doing what? Who's making noise? Bandit. Bandit. Leave me alone. All right, they're fine. No blood, no fur. Everybody lived. I guess you could call what they were doing playing. Loosely, you could call what they were doing playing. Oscar has a little spot he likes on the coffee table next to my chair, and he'll come over and sit under it. But it's a nook, which he likes to be, tucked into. But he's also like over in a corner. So he's backed into a space. So while it feels safe, there's no exit. And Bandit's a big dope and doesn't understand and wants to play, and he's 3 times his size. So Oscar, I have to say, I have a proud moment with Oscar. We now? Okay. So I was sitting in Mark's recliner. We each have one in the living room. For whatever reason, I was sitting in his. Put my feet up, and immediately Oscar comes over and jumps in my lap. Now, he'll do that for Mark in Mark's, recliner. So I thought, well, it's whatever. So I sit there for a while, and he sits and plays, and I'm not used to having a lap kitty at all, really. I mean, if you count, Oscar has spent more time in my lap in the last 3 days than Bandit has in 10 years. So now when I go to sit down, he wants to come up and sit in the lap, and he'll walk in circles and then lay down. But then the one time he got really, really excited, and rather than jumping off of me, the claws came out into my thigh, and then he ran in place like the Roadrunner and scratched the shit out of me on his way out of the room. So, but he's been a good boy. He doesn't bite. He doesn't scratch on purpose. Even when Mom came down today, Oscar was in the window, and if you give him some kitty butt right up on his tail, he'll play nice. So he got some pets in for Mom, and so, well, hello, Shivery Butter. How are you? We're just eating in a leaky apartment with angry cats. Yes, Zoomy scratches, exactly. They get all wound up at different times. Now, Oscar could sleep in the middle of the day 4 hours. Easily, not thinking about it. And then at night, he'll sleep too. I don't know when his wild moment is. Bandit will get sometimes in the middle of the night and go crazy. And up and down the halls, and you can hear the mats moving, and you can hear plants falling and crashing. He's a big boy. He's a big boy. And he doesn't know how big he is, so he knocks things over. You're lucky we love him anyway, of course, but it occurred to me the other day, talking about the kitties. Hey, Edgar. Talking about kitties, that we picked Bandit because we went to the shelter to go, to get him. So we saw a few. I, of course, like anything anymore, saw a few online and thought maybe I'd like this one or that one, and it was down to 2, and Bandit was one of them. But Oscar picked us because we were just living life. Mark out in the garden that was 3 apartments ago. Yeah, he's just fluffy, Margaret. He would be so furious if I ever got him wet, and you saw how skinny he is under there. But a couple apartments ago, we had the garden, and Oscar just rolled up one day. And Oscar didn't even have a name for the first year, I don't think. And then he just stayed, and he just followed us. And when we brought him with us by vehicle in a carrier to the new place where we were next door, he didn't come out of the closet for 3 months. He just stayed in there. We'd bring him food, and he'd come out to use the litter box on the other side of that room, but otherwise not out. So he's here. He's really kind of opened up, and he's more like our cat now, which I appreciate from Mark, because Mark could have easily just been, because they gravitate towards him more than me. Certainly Bandit did. Mark said within a few weeks of having Bandit, he knew it was going to be his cat, and that he was not going to be my cat or our cat. He was going to be his cat. So, which was whatever. So, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, 2 cats is plenty, too. I don't understand folks that have... I can understand having the heart to want to have 13 cats. I can't imagine having the oxygen. I can't imagine you could breathe anything but ammonia with that many cats around. I don't know. I assume if they're well cared for, and you have a big space, or if they're indoor, outdoor, there's a lot of combinations of it that could work, but in my head, I'm thinking 13 cats in a small city apartment. Not a good idea. They just had a horrible hoarding situation down the line, a couple, 2, 3 towns over. And it was 120 cats that they found. 120. They had to put down, fortunately or unfortunately, there wasn't that many, but half of them are going to have to be rehomed as what I learned are barn cats. So if you have a barn, or they even say a warehouse, somewhere where you can provide food and shelter for the cats, but they're not really safe to be, they're too feral. They can't be around people. So they have the barn cats you can pick from, and then they have the house cats you can pick from. It's a very, very interesting thing. Very, very, very different. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, Oscar picked us. So it was cute. And then last night, like I said, we put up a short, and it was bandits hiding. And of course, like all the other ones, you can tell that he hates us. He hates his gay fathers. And he's, his usual, I'm just trying to get a nap. And you Marys are following me around. So he did good. And he got a little pop. Shorts are funny. Usually you think when you put a video up, if this is new, and here's a day, and here's 2 days, you would think it would go up, popular in the beginning, and kind of go down. And generally, that's the line a lot of them do. Shorts don't seem as predictable. It was, got 20 views, then nothing for 2 hours, then 5 views an hour, and then 80 views, then 300 views at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then nothing at all for the last few. So shorts are a little bit harder on my end to try to predict. There's no accounting for quality of a short, though, I have to say. I've seen garbage be popular. So it's hard to tell. And I've seen things that were really well thought out and put together. I mean, you can overdo it too. You want to put time and quality into videos, but do you want to spend 5 days on a 10-second short that you hope some people are going to watch? Weighing how much effort you put in versus how many videos you're putting out versus does anyone like the content you're putting out? It's one thing to be prolific. It's another to have people watch. So... it's are you really an artist if no one pays for it? Or no one admires it, or no one thinks of you as an artist? I would say yes, but The elderly woman down the street told me that her doctor's next heart attack she'd have to probably would kill her. And several times before that when the cops went. Gotta catch my attention first. I was thinking, yeah. So we're just checking in. It's springtime now too, so like all the neighbors did a welfare check, and she had 113 cats. I imagine down the street there was a woman who did. She was starting to lose, and she was somebody in the Scranton political small town community thing, but she had lost her senses over time, probably dementia, Alzheimer's, and she had very little monitoring from family and friends. And when they finally got her out of the place, there was some pets that weren't cared for. It wasn't 120, but it was enough. And then people who leave dogs too, which is murderous. I mean, I'm not even like a dog person, at least not yet. Of course, I wasn't a cat person until I was 35. So, but I never thought of myself as a dog person. But the idea that people would get a dog, and then there's a lot of backyard breeders in this area. It's a lot of folks who come in from New York, New Jersey. You know, when people say this used to be a good area, this used to be a good neighborhood, what they mean is that people who moved here from New York and New Jersey ruined the whole small town vibe. Now we have little Section 8 places, and people calling CYS on each other when they get mad at their girlfriends, and, you know, everybody has food stamps. It's, if you ask John Q, who lived here since he was a kid, he's going to complain about those people ruining the community. My mom always says, I don't care who moves in if it can displace some of the trash that's here. So it depends on your perspective. And mom's born and raised in this area, from crib to cradle to grave, something like that. Probably. Well, she's not dead yet, but you know. That was the saying. Yeah, I usually have a picture for Mother's Day I put up. I have a picture of my mom posing with a bunch of drag queens on rollerblades during Pride, and mom holding the chain of a leather daddy named Buck Wild. And it's a perennial. She keeps it in her purse. It's a perennial repost that I usually do. Hey, Jamie. I was like, good moms do little things for their sons. Like pose for pictures with drag queens on rollerblades. And if you knew how... My mother's not prim and proper, but you would think she's more on the meek side. You would think she was more naive than she turned out to be, as far as I knew as an adult. But you'd think she was more sheltered, more, you know, think a smarter, definitely smarter version of Rose. But that kind of sweet, naive twist to things, like she's always had. So, you've been making e-cards all morning? A lot of mothers. A lot of mothers out there. So, I'm surprised we didn't get rid of that holiday, too. As long as we're gutting traditions, let's get rid of Mother's Day. We would never get rid of Father's Day. I don't know. I think language matters, and the name you give something and the name of something is you know, is significant. Is more significant to a person than to a golf, maybe. The golf doesn't have feelings. The golf isn't getting bullied on its way to school. But, you know, call that by another name. That can change like that. All I have to do is change my mind, and you have a new name. When it's my idea, it's different. Not when it's yours. If I could do anything, if I had, like, all the leverage and money in the world, I think the last thing I would think about is renaming a body of water. I don't know. That's not political. You don't have to be on any side of a political aisle, left, right, center, independent, green, any of you out there, to think that having that as even an executive order or priority, blue, red, or purple, it's dumb. It's dumb. Of all the things that were alleged to be priorities and said to be priorities, you know, it's just, I don't know. Being a mom, Mother's Day feels like appreciation. Well, that's good. I have a couple women I work with that all have kids, and they kind of feel like that on your birthday, you should talk about your mother, because your mother was there, and without her, there'd be no birthday. So that individuals' birthdays should be, in some way, a recognition of mother. Of course, it's a celebration of birth. Not every mother or father who has a kid sticks around to do the parenting thing. Sometimes they just bounce. Sperm donors. If you must. If you must. Like, the latest generations are more interested in playing video games than having kids. Yeah. I knew I wasn't having kids. Before I knew I liked guys instead of girls, I knew I didn't want to have kids. It just didn't feel like a vocation. I'm a pretty good uncle. I'm a good neighbor. But not my calling. Not my calling. Besides, you can see which way the wind's blowing in the United States. No one's going to give a gay couple like Mark and I. Well, let's be fair. They might give it to a gay couple. Mark and I have rather thick psychiatric and legal records. That would be the most preventative thing, and crappy credit. That would probably prevent it more than anything else. You don't need to be filthy rich to adopt or to have, people come into your home, but you do share it with Christmas, but exactly to share. Oh, see, my dad's got the birthday that's like 3 days before Christmas, so even us, it's terrible. It's like, oh, here's your birthday. Now this one over here is for your birthday, and these are all for that. I would rather people play video games than parent badly. If these are your choices, yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I don't have kids. I'm not going to pretend to understand what trying to raise a child in a climate like it's been for the last 25 years. It's just very different. Childhood now looks very different when I think of like my niece who's like 16, 17, 18, right, going to be into that cut. And I'm like, I think of all the nothing I had seen by that age and how much of everything they have by now. And everything is, of course, documented and played over and over. And no, they're not Andy. I wouldn't be a good parent. I don't think. I'd be a pushover. You'd think I'd be a hard-ass pushover. Total pushover. Mark would be the strict one. You see me, the cats are fighting, I don't scream. Hey, guys. Now. So, I'm not the strict one, necessarily. Some areas of life I had very good boundaries, others not so much. So, wouldn't know how to handle kids having access to me. That's the thing, other side. Like, I wouldn't either. So, the social media thing, I don't know. When phones were like new and all you could do was make a phone call, it seemed like at a certain age it was okay to give a kid a phone. When I was in college, first year of college, so it was 2000, people didn't really have cell phones like that yet. It was right over the next year, maybe 2, and all of a sudden, and I was going to Temple, and this girl on campus, everybody got a motherfucking cell phone, like they $3 fucking with my most racist black scent, as you can hear. But it was like that all of a sudden, everybody. We didn't have money. We were college students, but AT&T would charge the cost of the phone, give you the phone that day and activate it, and you wouldn't have to worry about it until your first bill. You wouldn't have to pay anything until the first bill. And they'd give you a discount on the phone. So all of a sudden, we all had cell phones, but all you could do was call. You could text on those phones, but nobody saw the point of texting if you could call. Texting was considered a lesser form of communication, I think. And then it wasn't until about the mid to late 2000s, that you're switching over to things like Blackberries and then into the next line of devices and stuff. So, but when I was in college, the kids who had phones, it was a hassle. They wouldn't want to leave it in their dorm and go party. They wouldn't bring it with them to go make sure they were at the same party as their friends or make sure everyone's texting so everyone knows where everyone is. It was like helicopter parents would give their kids a cell phone. It wasn't the cool ones. It was the other way around. Memories. I can't imagine how Chantal eats so much on camera so fast. I don't know. You're right, Andy. It's anything. I made 2 packages of ramen because I'm like fat kid. There's probably about a whole one left, and I had the other one. We've been talking for about half an hour. When I tell you we've seen videos of Chantal where she eats 3 times that food in 15 minutes, I don't get it. I do not get it. Even if it's just for camera. I mean, I'm sure there's a dark underbelly to mukbangers that has to do with things like purging and whatnot, but... Oh, yeah, she has a lot of skills that I would never want. A lot of skills. Now that I think about it, I was going to make fun of some of her skills. She doesn't even have ones to mock. There's like nothing left. There's nothing in there. Well, I know. Well, that's like, okay, guys. Here's my Chantal. So anyway, I was out with Sala. And he asked if I wanted a coffee. You know, I mean, it drags it out. It just drags it out, drags it out, drags it out. Sealing and starfishing. Andy, you're not. You're like batting it out in the park. That's hysterical. That's right. But, I mean, to be fair, as I sit here and mock, I can't imagine putting down that amount of food that fast. I mean, I've been having a weak stomach last few months, but I just can't. I couldn't do it. I'd throw up. I would get sick. It would be too much food for my stomach to hold. I would get sick. When I was a little kid, I had that happen a few times. The head throw back when she drinks. I don't know about all that. I don't know. I was sort of half-assed keeping up with her this week because we haven't done an official Coffee Talk, Foodie Beauty only live or video in probably almost a month. And she's not taboo of a topic. I just haven't gone back and done either a catch-up, or she hasn't done the one single thing that is worth the whole topic of a video. It's worth my afternoon to do. So, we'll see. We'll see. But, yeah, she's not off the table as a topic. She just hasn't come up just because she hasn't done anything new or different. Now, have any of us? Maybe not. She's worried someone's going to get it from her. Yes, there's kind of a vibe like that. Next visa run, maybe. The stricter traffic laws in Kuwait are interesting. That's a bit of a... The foodie burnout is real, Ruby. And it's not like burnout. It's just, how much more is there to say? How much more could I possibly have to say? The last thing she did was change her outfits and move. Do you know how much traveling a person could do in 2 years? A lot. Like, I know she says she likes to travel, but, you know, the only thing she does in traveling is move from one country to another, but she's not out, like, sightseeing and stuff. And even people who are wrongfully handicapped can still find their way around. You know, there's plenty of people out there in jazzies, whether they need them or not, it's not for me to say. Not all disabilities are visible. That I think she could probably get on one and go see some life herself. She's, you know, too disabled to do a lot of stuff, but she's not so disabled. Like, she's not more... Is Chantal less mobile than a person in an automatic wheelchair? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if she had to roll herself, that would be a different story, but she's less mobile than someone if she needed a mobility scooter. In a country like Canada, it would probably be covered by her health insurance, but since she's so high and fucking mighty, she can go dig through the sand. Giving her money for nothing. Nobody does money for nothing. Nobody gives you money for nothing. Not large amounts, conspicuous amounts. I'm not talking like a $4 super chat or something like that. Or, you know, sending somebody a gift card on their birthday. It's different. She frames it as, I can't feed the cats without this money. I can't pay these bills without this money. Now, Superhero is apparently back there playing games. So how poor could they be if he has all the time in the world to sit there and play? Even our channel has more subscribers than his gaming channel. And we're nobody. We're just two guys who are too old to be doing this. And we still have more people watching. Gaming is a very competitive field, I'll give him that. I didn't know much about gaming, and my knowledge deficit is ridiculous, but I know you can make a fortune and become very wildly popular doing gaming stuff. So, it's worth looking into. But like with Chantal and so many things, she caught wind of something that she thought could make money. Gaming! All of a sudden she has a gaming channel. She skipped past the point that she only sort of plays sometimes, and it's like Mario and nothing else. So she threw herself out there before there was anything else. And this was around the time she was losing or going to lose her channel. So, way to go on the memberships. Thanks, Margaret. And thank you those who are joining. It's nice to have members and folks. It's good to see you come in. I can see you come in with your markers through there. And Mark and I are planning within the next week and a half. It'll definitely be before the end of May because that's memberships. To have a he and I couples only live for members only live stream. So I know Chantal does it like chats, but like open it to everybody, but only people who are members can chat, and then it's just open it to just chat. I think I would rather just close it off to just members. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out. But it was meant to be exclusive for members, that it was a place we could just come and hang out. It'd be a little less, maybe a little less PG, maybe a little less censored, maybe some more candid Q&As, things like that. Just another different way for us to be ourselves on the channel, and for have another way for you to see us, Because it's on us, too. If I'm watching Chantal and saying it's the same shit for 6 years, I gotta look at my own channel and go, is it really different? I mean, how many more subs do you have? How many more viewers do you have? I would say our tight community got bigger. Like the tight circle of, where you could put out almost anything, and I think people would be kind enough. A few people would be kind enough to watch regardless. Most of you are too smart for that shit. But there's a pool of people that no matter what you put up, they'll watch something. So, especially if you make a short out of it. But I'll talk to you about effort and making things. The short I put out last night was 9 seconds of footage I took of the cat like 2 days ago while he was sitting there. Mark said, should we put out a video tonight? Maybe a short? I said, sure, I'll make the short. I'm not competent at making those kind of things, but within maybe 15 minutes, I had a video ready up to go. And it was just some things put together, a little creativity and a few pieces of film, and then ta-da! You add a little music, and it's a short. And then the turnaround is quite a number of views. And then you lay that against other videos where you put so much work into, and the detail, and then it's not just about people not watching or not. It's not that exactly. It just feels like an investment of time that doesn't pay back. Not financially necessarily. I mean, there's plenty of videos that we have that have lots of views that didn't make a whole lot of money. The views are at least in the thousands, sometimes tens of thousands. And even if the money wasn't rich, the views were there. They're still good for the channel, just in a little bit different of a way. So, yeah. And if I was looking correctly, Chantal has the button, the play button for the 100,000. If I understand correctly, it says Miriam on it still. And she took a hammer to it for said reason. Was this the whole snafu of how she wanted to get over 100,000, but she needed to change the name of her channel to manipulate another few thousand people to come over? And then I think it was all in that. 6 to 12 hours in the gaming videos. I'm lucky to get 30 views. It's all like, oh God, Christine, when we first started the channel, I mean, when this channel started, it was me. So it was pretty much this. It was just a camera, me sitting, usually wouldn't be eating. I'd probably be chain smoking, usually. And just talking. And there would be different topics that we would check in on. I hadn't done a live. It was years before we had done a live, I think. And then when Mark wasn't part of the channel, like crafting wasn't part of the channel. There was food stuff, but it was like weight loss related. So I wonder what that lady is doing with e-begging for a PlayStation. Cynthia? Oh, yes. She whose name might not be spoken. Her channel, from what I understand, got huge. She hit it really well doing shorts. It looks like a really niche kind of interest of shorts, but the views are there. She's done a lot. It's like anything, though. She's more. I think it's more known for her product of making that kind of short. Because if you look at her videos of just daily check-in and how she's doing, maybe a couple hundred people watch. So she's got, was it 800,000 subs? Something like that. Known for her shorts, but not known, or at least not liked, for much else. The stuff she doesn't put on the channel is the stuff I used to like about little channels like hers and Tommy's. Rest in peace. You know, they would go to the store and film what they bought. Their lives were boring as shit. They were just like mine. It made me feel seen. They were a May December romance, so were Mark and I. So we had some things in common, but Andy, I think the shorts, something about eating candy, something about crunching on things. I think it has to do with ASMR loosely, like a crunch, bite down sound thing. They're very short videos. Plays with a lot of makeup. I only saw the thumbnails go by. I mean, if she wanted to be famous and that did it for her, then I guess that's it. Then I guess, you know, goal accomplished. It seems kind of, I don't know how I'd feel if some terse, like, I have a few passions. You know what I mean? Mick, you know what? I like a settled stomach, as it is. We were just talking about how much shit, you know, Princess can put down in 20 minutes. I still have quite a bit left, and it's been 40 minutes. Now I'm running my mouth and we're talking here too, but I can feel myself getting fuller and fuller. Like, I can tell. So, it's okay, Mick. Better late than pregnant. Who said it? I know y'all know. Who's gonna get it first? Who's gonna get it first? Who's gonna get it first? As I'm watching, the bottom left corner is where you guys all come in and chat. So it does get cold, Joan. It does. Andy, you're our winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Blanche said that. When they were going to be contestants on Grab That Dough. Oh, the Golden Girls. I'm going to have to start. Here's another kitty. Here's another kitty. Yes, Pixie, you are runner-up, and a few others. Blanche. Any Golden Girls quote I can usually pull out of thin air and remember. I eat once a day with a snack, and I'm good. I have no idea how she eats so much. I eat with my meds, so it gets like a little something, a few hundred calories. And then whatever Mark makes, so whatever he makes for dinner. And then during the day, some days I have coffee, some days I don't. I like the energy from it, but it doesn't sit well. So I don't drink as much coffee. Small amount of soda. And if I get hungry during the day, or I get like crackers or pretzels or something like that, just to keep things moving along. I can't fathom sitting down and eating like a Thanksgiving-sized dinner 2 days in a row, let alone 35 years in a row. So I'm not. It's just not comfortable. As much as I love eating too. I love eating. Absolutely. Absolutely love eating. Would trade more important things for it, probably. But can't. Just not that much. Not the act of eating so much. Still into desserts. I used to love the dessert halls. Mark's still into desserts. Andy. Am I? Ooh, not really. He'll get some things repeatedly that he likes. I mean, Mark lives on sugar. It's what he likes. He's a grown man. He's over 50. I'm not going to change his mind. I can fuck with his food and make it healthier without him knowing. But, you know. You've replaced the coffee with hot cocoa. I do the decaf coffee in the evening. Or if I'm out with friends and they're getting like fancy coffees, I'll get a decaf Americano. A lot of times a place like Starbucks will have a decaf Americano, but will not have like brewed decaf or anything. So I'll go for that. And then if I want cream and sugar and all that other shit in it, I still have it. But yeah, I cut it off in the evening because I have anxiety and trouble sleeping. Not how I prefer it, but who would? I'm not doing myself any favors by dumping large amounts of caffeine over the top of that. It's just not helpful. But if I do get hungry during the day, I would have that. Mark comes back from the grocery, which one? Price Chopper, or Market 52, or whatever they renamed it to, has a really good bakery, and they bake in-house. So a lot of the stuff looks really, really tasty. They have this cannoli crumb cake thing. It's like a layer of delicious cake, and then cannoli filling, and then another layer of delicious cake, and then crumb topping with more cannoli filling piped on top. It's a meal. One of them is 1,200 calories. One of them. Hey, Mike, I see you. Yeah, I mean, I only would take caffeine for the jitteriness. There's nothing I like that's so gross that it's caffeinated. And maybe coffee. If coffee had no caffeine, would I drink any of it? I don't know. I don't do it in the morning though. Like if we had a coffee pot ready to go, like even the caloric feels confusing some days. So staggering around trying to put this one in, that one, forgetting to put the filter in, forgetting to put the cup underneath. There's a lot of ways a K-cup can go wrong. You'd be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't be surprised. But so goes. So goes. And when I was a kid, tea. My mother would always have tea in the morning before she'd get up and like do the crossword puzzle, go to work or whatever she would do. She would always, and in the evening she'd have tea. They wouldn't have coffee. Now that they're older, they have coffee. It seems like. But tea reminds me of being sick as a kid. Tea with like milk and sugar in it. See, Mark will do that, Christine, on his days where he's up. But if I want coffee when I'm up, I usually set it the night before, so it is just the one button. And if I read the manual, it would probably set itself with the alarm. I'm just lazy and self-indulgent. I just want it made for me. If I'm feeling extra husbandy, I'll bring Mark his coffee in the morning. When I scream at him to get out of bed, I'll hand him the coffee rather than throw it at him and say, here, you need time to get up. Here's your coffee. Let's get moving. Come on. Because I got to go to work. It's like getting a kid up for school, kind of. Kind of, sort of. Thank you for everyone who's in here. We had a little more than 70 folks at one time. That's probably the largest amount of people we've had in here at once. So please do hit the thumbs up if you feel so inclined. And thank you for being here. Thank you. The ramen did go cold. My ramen's gone cold. Got wondering why I got out of bed at all. Morning rain clouds at my window, and I can't see it all. Now we're into song lyrics. So, I do have a new today's fake project. So, I don't know if you guys do this kind of thing. I do, once in a while I would do it with work, but even you may be, I don't know, broke and have no way to travel, but you kind of in your head plan yourself a little vacation, like a place to go, something you'd want to do, something you should want to see. So I was half-ass planning a trip to Lake Champlain. Yes, the Dido intermission. Andy, you got that too. You got that one too. I don't know what to say. So Lake Champlain is a huge lake. It borders Quebec, Vermont, and New York. So going out that way is about a 5-hour drive. Because it's only about where I would want to go, Plattsburgh, New York, is about an hour and a half from Montreal. So, I mean, we're really going up into the Adirondacks. Like, I could take a picture of Canada like this. It's right there. So that would be an idea. And then you can stop half the way, because we have a newer-ish car, but it's, we didn't buy a Cadillac, so I want to treat it respectfully, but also get it on the road, because the good gas mileages was part of the perks of getting a car that was smaller. So we'll see how that shakes down. But then and Mark has in his head he wants to camp. As soon as I said lake, he said camp. I wasn't looking to make this rustic. I was just looking to go peek out at the lake for an afternoon with some coffee. That's it. Turn around, come back. There's cute stuff to do, but it's New England. I mean, it's cute stuff to do. And if you've never been through New England, some of the places are a little more shishi than others. It's not snobby. Unless you get out to, like, I don't know, where the Kennedys are. I don't know. Like, some areas are a little snobby, but not as bad. Mark's got family in New Hampshire, and they're just as sweet as pie. So. But I've been binge watching Lake Monster documentaries. I found some new ones. And then there's Monster Quest on the History Channel on their YouTube thing. You can watch a bunch. So, glamping sounds good, nice girl. That's not a bad idea at all. You have a camper market act. I know they're bigger. I know there's bigger lakes. And there's probably monsters in those too. But this one throws me back to being a kid watching an old episode of Unsolved Mysteries. And I would not get my ass on a plane to go to Loch Ness. Just no. If somebody else wants to spend the money and, sponsor a meek young man and his husband, fine. Otherwise, I'm not going to go over to the sit and look in the bog. They already found out the surgeon's photograph was bullshit. After that, it all seemed, Mick, you're fine. And a great lake for a single day. Mm-hmm. I don't think I could get on a plane. I would need medication of some sort. Sorry, my body's just not wired for it. My adrenal glands will fucking explode. I live in southern coastal Maine, but working class neighborhood. It's pretty nice, right? It was pretty nice. When I remember coming in right into Maine, Saco. I saw the sign for Saco, Maine, and swear to God, there was a moose standing right next to it. And I didn't realize, Steady, how big a moose is. I didn't realize how tall they were. And then we came in, and the first big city we saw was Portland, which was nice. It looked like a big LL Bean catalog. Everyone was very friendly. Everyone was very fit. Everyone looked like they had been doing something. And it was nice. Then we drove up to Bangor because my then partner, boyfriend, whatever he was, thought he was going to go to the University of Maine and study forestry as a major. So we decided in January to go to Maine for a vacation. And so we stopped in Portland, and then we went to Bangor for a couple nights, and then Bangor was beautiful. Bangor looks a lot like Scranton, except it has more hills. Looks a lot more. Welcome to the Smoky Deck, nice girl. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Do enjoy your seat in the crowd. Yes, we do have memberships now for anyone who's interested, anyone who's asked over time. We do have them. We're going very easy breezy on memberships. It's $2.99. You'll have the rank buttons that'll come up here, the emojis forthwith, and the lives that are members only. So there's a couple benefits to it. Don't want to charge a bunch because we couldn't promise a bunch, but just enough to have another way for people to show their support. And honestly, I hate to say, people were just begging to give us money, but people had asked, how can we support you and not, necessarily give you a super chat every video, that kind of thing. And that was a way to do it. So we've been lucky. We're just under 20 or maybe 20 members so far. So it's getting there. Hi, Mark.
Hey, everybody!
He just came. And then Bandit goes right after him.
Yeah, there he is.
We even have a camp up north. I never saw him. I swear, Steady, it was right. Because I thought, how stereotypical. I was like, oh, of course. I'm going to see a moose in the road. And I did. I'm like, damn, that's tall. So Maine was cold, but it wasn't awful cold. But it was, Maine was cold. They all say hi. Christine says hi. Susie says hi. I'm having the last of my cold ramen. I think we're done. I think we're done with ramen. It's not even tasty, and I'm not hungry anymore. So, yeah, Maine was nice. I would go back to Maine. In the summertime, not in the winter, No, yeah. Oh, no. A moose that's totaled. You would total a car hitting a moose. Absolutely. Anything less than like a mid-size. Does the YouTube take a cut from their memberships? They do. YouTube takes their cut on everything. So it comes on memberships, super chats, certainly the ad revenue, they take their cut. So yeah, it's a little, the thing is though, it's like we charge 3, I think they get 1, and we get 2. If that's how the monthly thing works. Like, I think it's 30% is their usual magic number for taking what you get. They've also changed the ad system, so I don't get to select now where you're finding ads in the videos. YouTube picks where the ads are. And then that's it. I can certainly add more, but I can't get rid of the ones that are there. I could go all manual and put them, I don't know. It's a messy little system. They're trying to tune it up. It's usually all in the interest of making YouTube more money, which, hey, it's a business. Criminal? That's what it is. Maine. I like the beaches in New England because, like, first of all, I didn't know there was beaches in New Hampshire. There's a small stretch of beach. It's not small, but like compared to the coastline of shoreline, that's New Hampshire. And I don't think beach. I think maple syrup and trees and mountains and shit. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. We had driven up through there. And I think we were going all the way up the East Coast. Was it Route 9? 9A? Something like that? Portsmouth was beautiful. I had a massage in Portsmouth. Well, to be fair, Mark did too. He woke up. We were on vacation. oh my God, this is like where a lot of this shit with his health started. We were on vacation. We went up to, he likes New England. We had thought about moving to Massachusetts a number of years ago, to the point where we were apartment hunting and I was job hunting. And we didn't, we didn't make it up there yet, obviously. So that goes. New England, New England, New England. Yeah, we had gone up in the fall and we had driven past the beach towns. And then Portsmouth, we stayed, and Mark woke up not feeling good. He was all stiff from here to here. He thought he slept on his arm funny, and it hurt for like a day or so. So I was like, well, we're on vacation. Let's find a cheap place and go get a massage. Get a couple's massage. Well, it wasn't couples. I'm bashful. So we each had our own room and our own masseuse. I actually got naked because I figured we're out of town, and it's a woman, so I wasn't like too concerned. And had a nice massage. And he said that helped and it loosened it up. But that blasted me back to Portsmouth, which was beautiful. Totally walkable. Everything was cute. It looks like there was one place to get coffee and use a bathroom at the very top of a hill of a main street, if I recall. Parking wasn't bad at all. And then we walked across the bridge into Maine, if that's how I remember. It's right there. You just walk right across, and we were in Maine. And all of a sudden, the houses are like little elfie houses. All the houses in Maine were cute. They're like gnomes live there. They're like 1.5 stories, and they have these pitched roofs. They're so cute. I mean, a house that size around here would probably rent for $900 or something like that. I don't know what to buy. But I could see, oh, thank you for coming, Mike. Yes, over the bridge. We walked over the bridge to go see it. And then we took pictures by some statue that's in a park right over the bridge. I'm trying to remember this. This was a lot of episodes ago. This was a lot of things that happened in the meantime. I remember crossing a bridge, taking a selfie with him in a park, crossing back across the bridge. It was fun. And they had opened it. I remember they opened it for things to come through and stuff like that. So it was different. It's like nothing I'd seen growing up. So it was cool. New England has its charms, definitely. And I saw like less than 0.1% of probably what there is to see. We live in the mid-Atlantic states, which is a little less, it's like New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. It's a little less scenic. There's a lot more concrete. We don't have as many trees or moose. So that goes. Well, guys, this has been a nice chat and a nice sit down. I'm really liking these dinner ones to catch up with how people are doing and to just catch up. Like, when was the last time I sat down and shared memories about Maine? It wasn't going to come up if we didn't have this, you know what I mean? So thank you everyone for joining me tonight. My tummy feels okay. The food's that good. The cats are not fighting. And Mark is in the garden. So all is well that ends well. So thank you all for joining me tonight. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe. Hit the thumbs up if you'd be so inclined. Hit the notification bell. You'll get alerts when we have new videos and when we go live. The join button for membership should be in the description or over here somewhere. Take a look. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you very, very soon. Okay? The person you'll see next is probably going to be Mark. Don't know if it'll be tomorrow. Y'all know how it rolls. So we'll be in touch soon. All right? Thanks for watching. Bye. Say goodbye, Mark. He screamed bye from the porch, if that matters. Bye, guys. Thanks.